All right, good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, April 21st. Welcome to our council meeting. It's now 9:31. This is a hybrid meeting, so we have people online as well as people in the audience. I'm going to call the meeting to order and start off with the land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen is located on the Treaty 20 Mississauga territory of the Mississauga and Chippewa Nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nations, which includes Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Alderville, Gugog Island, Rama, Osalay, Jardina Island, and First Nations. The Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen respectfully acknowledges the Williams Treaties First Nations are the stewards and caretakers of the lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they continue to maintain this responsibility to ensure their health and integrity for generations to come. I'm now going to move into a moment of silent reflection for council and staff to quietly reflect on our duty to the community that we represent. Thank you. I'll ask everyone to make sure your cell phones are off or placed on vibrate so that you can declare it then. We do have minutes here from the April 7th, 2026 regular council meeting. If everything's in order, I'll look for a motion that we receive those minutes. Moved by Councillor Clement. Second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? And today we have one delegation. It's Diane Mack with the Belmont-Methuen Havelock Historical Society, and she's going to give us a verbal update. So welcome, Diane.
Yeah. Good morning, Mayor Martin, members of council and staff. And the achievements of the Belmont-Methuen and Havelock Historical Society. We hope to clear up some misunderstandings that became evident during your council meeting on April 7th. We only applied for the balance of the insurance premium because we were encouraged to do so by the township office. Our original request for the provincial grant was approved by council at the December 2nd, 2025 meetings for payment of $485.80. On January 28th, 2026, we paid the full premium of $971.60, although we were still waiting for the funds from the township. On March 25th, 2026, we received and deposited your check in the amount of $484.80. We appreciate the support that you provided. The society is not out of funds. We have increased our paid memberships for 2026. We are planning events and fundraisers. In fact, we informed the township office in late March of a fundraising plan for June 13th and are waiting for approval of this plan. If approved, it will take place on one of the monthly Saturday openings we recently announced. The event will include a barbecue, yard sale, and 50-50 draw. We are considering a number of grant applications and opportunities as well. The staff of the MPP Smith's office has been very helpful in this. Regarding the suggestion that we would be better off as a committee of council is mistaken. The Historical Society is incorporated federally and registered as a nonprofit charity. On behalf of one benefit of this is the ability to issue tax receipts for donations. There are other tax benefits as well. We also belong to the Ontario Historical Society. This organization is very helpful with program and fundraising assistance for the member groups. One of our immediate goals is the creation of a website. Another is the creation of a computer station where people can research their family histories. This requires investments, both genealogically research software and the computer hardware to use it. Realizing these ambitions is going to take some time, we realize. Our volunteers spend hundreds of hours a week on inventory, cleaning, repairing, displaying, promotion, and community outreach. We meet informally at least one day a week, often more than that. We hold a monthly meeting that is open to the public, and we plan to have a Saturday opening every month over the summer. And we take call-ins for appointments. As you know, we have dealt with months of downtime and reorganization because of the renovations. During this period, we helped the congregation of Knox Presbyterian Church to save many church artifacts that we now have the responsibility to preserve for the community. At the same time, we received an amazing collection from an old family in the township when they moved from their home. We are extremely grateful for the generosity and work very hard to inventory every new arrival. There is always work to do, and our volunteers are determined to collect and preserve as much of the township's history as possible. We are not sure why council continues to ask us to give up our charter. The Norwood Council Historical Committee is the only one in our area that is an actual committee of council. Most of us are independent and incorporated. Next year is the 30th anniversary of our corporation, and we are an informal group for a number of years before that. This history is important to us. With it, we honor members who have passed in the work we do every day, just as we honor the settlers who came here before us. Any questions?
Yeah, so I was the one that mentioned about the joining as a committee of council, and I was using thought from Norwell. Seems to work really well. So that's why I keep on about trying to make it simpler for you. I appreciate everything you're doing over there. I see all the work that you're doing. I was there on Saturday, but I didn't come down. There were so many things on Saturday that I wasn't able to get back over before 2 o'clock. But if you insist on staying as the way it is, well, that's fine. But it's just the township's doing everything we can to help you, one way or the other. You got prime real estate over there, and we're giving it to you to work with, and that just shows our appreciation, because there is other uses that we could use it for, but we know the value in historical societies. So
we really appreciate that, and but we have checked through all kinds of stuff with the Ontario Historical Society. We checked with all the ones around us. Norwood is the only one that is a member of council, and to give it up, we had many members we have lost over the years. This was their dream. They worked hard at it, and they wanted the incorporation like the rest of us. So to give that up, it's taken part of our history away, 30 some years, well, 40 years really. And we're getting stuff all the time, and we're open, like people call us, we go in. It's not like we have Wednesday set hours, one Saturday a month. Is so far to see how busy we're going to be. And we increased the number this time of visitors. We had about a dozen, that's something when all the stuff that was going on. And to say, we get calls, I get calls. We save money by using my cell phone, my home phone, and then we just pass it on to the members. And even when I'm away, if somebody wants an appointment, Arlene, I call Marg, I call Betty, I call somebody goes in and does it. And then if there's questions, there's always somebody that can find the answer. So it's a thing of trust that we've been put in for years. And we're not going to let those people down by backing off on it and not doing what we have to do.
Yeah. Okay, well, someday somebody will maybe see what, some value in it, but right now, if you don't see any value in it, it's just a suggestion to try and make it easier for your members.
Yeah.
Well,
we checked with Norwood, Campbellford, Norwood, we checked with a whole bunch of them, and they're all like us.
Yeah.
And the only one that wasn't was Norwood, and some of their members said to me, why didn't I do that?
Okay, we're going to open up to council here. So, Bev, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, through you, Mayor Martin. I'd like to personally thank you for all that you do. I mean, I know that you're busy, And I know that you have a lot of passion for it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Martin, so pre-work, I mean, I'm not a historical person, but I do appreciate, my cousin is really into genealogy. I have a suggestion for you to save money, because the library offers genealogy free of charge, and they've paid for all the trademarks and everything, so anyone can win a and do the genealogy, that would save you money. You don't need to.
We're aware of that, but
There-
the library isn't open all the time. We're on call all the time.
But you can go onto our website and put a request.
Yeah, I don't,
And we're open, like, what is it, 5 days a week, basically. We're open Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And I think they're gonna increase some of the hours coming up, so.
Wow.
But that's.
well, we
to
tell
save
people
money.
it's there, but
Yeah,
some of them, you know, they want to come in. We take Sundays, whatever it takes to help.
I'm just trying to help you save some money. That.
Yeah, well, but we have to set up the website. And that's what we're working. You hired a new person, so maybe this isn't the time to ask, but we were wondering if she helps set up websites.
No, she could probably point you in the right direction, but
The community.
speak to her. That's what, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
So. Okay,
Thank you.
any other questions? Mark, go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you through, Mr. Mayor. To echo Councillor Flagler's comments, thank you very much for what you're doing for the community. This is, I know it's been a long time in progress here, trying to get everything together, but we're almost there.
Yeah.
So just let's keep with it, because as I said, we're almost at the end line. Few questions.
Mhm.
In terms of fundraising, you mentioned an event from 13th. You know where that? Have you,
Yes, in
you
the
have a,
parking lot. We sent an email to the town office. So we want to have it in the back parking lot, clean it up and block it off so nobody can drive through.
at the library?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in the back of the
Okay.
library.
And then in terms of fundraising, I think you just referenced in terms of trying to get the website set up. I
Yes.
think we've kind of discussed that here at the council level. If we can get that set up, that'll be key for you. Like right now, how do you guys take in donations? Is it just by phone? Like if somebody wanted to donate to the club, would they have to contact you or?
Yeah, usually.
Okay.
When we're open.
Yeah.
We just got money on,
Okay,
not much.
I'm just saying,
Some Saturday.
in terms of getting the website up, I think, because I noticed looking at a lot of other historical societies, right? They'll have a page on there where there's a kind of click and link where they can donate right through the website.
Yeah,
So I think the quicker we get that up, I think the quicker you'll see money coming in from the community, just to have an easier way for them to donate, right?
oh, yes, we've been in touch with Mrs. Philpott.
Yep.
Over the years.
Yep.
In fact, I just had emails from her and she said we could use their type of website, but it's $1,000 to get it set up.
Yep.
And then we'd have to train Patrick to do it. So it's a lot involved. It's not just setting up the site, it's training somebody to use it. So she's really good that way. And we've been talking to her over the years anyways. So she said we could use her template,
Yep.
whatever, but we have to have somebody with technology knowledge.
And maybe,
We're all too old.
And-
So we got a couple of young ones, but they don't do it either. Nobody does it. Our youngest member is 8 years old.
very good.
And her own money. So we're going into St. Paul's for 2 full days next week.
Very good.
And we've been in touch with the station house. And once all this is settled in, then we'll be going into the station house too. And we have a nice tape recorder we could just put out there and then plug it into the machine.
So moving ahead, all I was suggesting is I think you guys are already headed down that road, but the sooner we can get that website up, and I'm sure the township staff would be happy to at least work with you in terms of helping get that set up as soon as possible.
Yeah.
To open those avenues to funding, right? Especially now that we're getting to summertime, we're gonna have more cottagers showing up.
Yeah.
If we can get that out to them, knowing our community, I'm sure there's tons of people that would love to donate to it. Now, that being said, we don't have that set up now.
No.
If people want to donate right now, how can they donate?
Just call those numbers, show up on
Could you give the number here and we can?
5
Yep.
768 4895. or 705-778-7896.
And just ask for Diane or,
Yeah, or, Al's pretty good at taking messages too. And, Haley will tell me who's calling to, and the machine's on both of them. And
maybe further to that, until you guys are up and running, maybe that's something we could get up on our website to at least get a number out there where people could.
okay, we'd appreciate that. And we also have, Patrick Hill is running our, website. Or his page.
Okay.
Thank you. We're not up, we don't even like Facebook, so he's running it now, so he's posting more stuff for us. And so he hasn't got a number on it yet, but he's got all kinds of other stuff. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Gary.
Diane, in the charter under which it's income tax. Like you can get a receipt for income tax, that's kind of important to get on the website as well.
Yes,
Because-
charitable receipts.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
doing well. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so motions to receive the delegation, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Doherty, all in favor? All right, then we're gonna move into a public meeting for zoning bylaw amendment. We have two amendments here, so I'll look for motion to go into the public meeting, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Clement, all in favor, and that's carried. All right, then. So this is a statutory meeting held under section 39 of the Planning Act. Any person may attend the public meeting and or make verbal or written representation either in support or opposition to the proposed zoning bylaw amendment. Please keep your video off and microphone muted during the meeting until the chair invites comments regarding the planning matter. If a person or public body does not make oral submission at the public meeting or make written submission to the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen before the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is passed, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen to the Ontario Land Tribunal. If a person or public body does not make an oral submission at the public meeting or make written submission to the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen before the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is passed, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of the appeal before the Ontario Land Tribunal, unless in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to add the person or public body as a party. If you wish to be notified of the passing of the zoning bylaw amendment, you must make a written request to the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen. And that goes for both items on the agenda. So the first item here is BOTEN is going to present it. It's a bylaw amendment for Trevor and Amy Watkins. So we're going to have Scott Day. Is that worked? Oh, volume. You're muted.
It's muted.
There you go.
Oh, sorry about that, Mayor Martin. Sorry, I will begin now. So, good morning, Mayor Martin, Council, and members of the public in attendance. Today, I will begin by presenting an application submitted to the Township for a zoning bylaw amendment application pertaining to the property municipally known as 250 Burnt Dam Road. The property is in the Belmont Ward and identified as part of Lot 18, Concession 6, roll number 1531-010-004-08101. The purpose of this application is to present for the consideration of council and members of the public in attendance an application to amend the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen Comprehensive Zoning Bylaw 1995-42 as amended to modify the existing site-specific zoning on a portion of the property in order to facilitate the development of an enlarged accessory building to be used as a garage in accordance with a revised development proposal. As council may recall, this is a returning application which was previously deferred at the February 17th meeting of council. Since that meeting, the proposal has been revised and is now being brought forward for decision by council. So to begin with some background, the current lot fabric of the property was created through a prior consent application and subsequent merger agreement between the applicants and the township. This process facilitated the addition of approximately 0.7 hectares of land on the east side of Burnt Dam Road to be merged with the parcel on the west side of Burnt Dam Road, which is municipally known as 250 Burnt Dam Road. As such, the subject site now consists of two physically separated parcels, which are bisected by Burnt Dam Road. These include a smaller shoreline parcel, on the west side of Burnt Dam Road, with water frontage on Round Lake and developed with a seasonal residential dwelling, and a larger undeveloped parcel on the eastern side of Burnt Dam Road. Notably, the eastern parcel exhibits topographical variations, with the central and eastern portions of this parcel at a higher elevation than the remainder of the eastern parcel. The eastern parcel also contains a centrally located surface water feature. The entirety of the subject site, inclusive of both the eastern and western parcels, is designated shoreline in the township's official plan, and notably, the site is split zoned between the two parcels. The western parcel is zoned seasonal residential zone, while the eastern parcel is zoned special district 283 zone. At the February 17th meeting of council, the applicants proposed to amend the township zoning bylaw to establish site-specific regulations to permit the development of an enlarged accessory building on the eastern parcel consisting of a two-story garage. The application sought to permit a maximum floor area of 480 square meters, a maximum height of 9 meters, and establish a setback of 3.5 meters from the street line of Burnt Dam Road. The township planning consultants reviewed the application and recommended approval at that time, though at the February 17th meeting, concerns were raised regarding the size of the proposed garage, particularly in relation to the 3.5 meter setback from Burnt Dam Road. Following the deferral, the applicants worked with the township and the Crow Valley Conservation Authority to revise the placement of the proposed garage. The updated proposal before council today relocates the garage further south and east on the eastern parcel, increasing the setback from Burnt Dam Road by double to what was originally proposed, from 3.5 meters or 11.5 feet to now 7 meters or 23 feet. The revised location maintains functional vehicular access, situates the building at a lower elevation to reduce visibility from Round Lake, and avoids Conservation Authority regulated areas associated with the surface water feature. The footprint and height of the proposed garage remains unchanged from the original proposal in order to maintain its intended functionality and storage capacity. The Crow Valley Conservation Authority has reviewed the revised proposal and confirmed in email correspondence to the township that the location of the garage is outside of the regulated area and is acceptable from a natural hazards perspective. The proposed development is consistent with the provincial planning statement, conforms to the policies of the county and township official plans, and maintains the general intent of the township zoning bylaw. Public notice was posted on the site and mailed to surrounding property owners for the statutory public meeting, which occurred on February 17th, 2026, in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act. Notably, public notice was not required to be resent to surrounding property owners for this meeting, as this is a returning deferral item. However, the application was circulated in the agenda package and posted to the township's website in advance of this meeting, and members of the public who made verbal or written submissions will be notified of the decision of council. So in summary, the revised proposal increases the setback of the proposed garage from Burnt Dam Road from 3.5 meters to 7 meters in response to comments raised at the February 17th meeting, representing the greatest setback achievable while avoiding site constraints and maintaining the intended functionality of the garage. As such, it is our recommendation that this application be approved. And I thank you for your time and would be happy to answer any questions from council or members of the public in attendance.
All right, thank you. So the way the process works, I'll be asking 3 times if anybody's wishing to speak in opposition of this application, followed by 3 times anybody wishing to speak in favor of the application, where if the applicant is online, they'll be able to add to anything that's been said this morning. So for the first time, is there anybody wishing to speak in opposition of this application? Okay, could you state your name and come to the microphone there?
Larry Salakis. We're, my children own 210 Burnt Dam Road, Salakis family. For the record, I think in this case, the people on the road should have been notified by letter to know that this meeting was happening today. I only found out about it this morning from Rick Rodos, and he would be here as well, except that he had an appointment to go to now. As far as I'm concerned, the 7-meter setback doesn't really do anything to change the way the road will look once this building is erected. It's visualizing 79 feet. I can tell you what it's going to be like. It's like looking at food land, only double the height. This is, this is not just a storage facility. This is a huge storage facility. It's, it's 1,600 square feet larger than what you normally would allow, which is 1,000 square feet, I believe, for a garage or an outbuilding, right? And on a cottage road, this is a disservice to the rest of the cottagers on that road, in my opinion. Their value of their property will not. I mean, anybody that wants to buy a cottage on that road, if there's a cottage for sale, we'll walk down that road, and it's a short walk. There's not that many cottages on it, and we'll look at that and say, "Whoa, what's this on the road here? 79 feet high and really high. It's going to stand out like a sore thumb." I'm sorry, but it's not a good idea. I can understand maybe 1,200, 1,500 square feet. 1,500 square feet should fit classic cars, boats, pontoon boats, everything very easily. When you get into like well over 2,000 square feet of floor space, that's just, it's huge. Doesn't belong on a cottage road.
Okay, all right, thank you, Mr. Salakis. Right, for the second time, is there anybody wishing to speak in opposition to this application? Third time, anybody wishing to speak in opposition?
Yeah, Mayor Martin, it's Greg Alexander.
Okay. Greg,
Yeah, I would
go
like
ahead.
to just speak in support of the gentleman who came up to talk to speak against this. This seems like a poor precedent to set for the local environment. This building sounds enormous. I think council would set a bad precedent approving it in its current size. That's all I got to add.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's Greg. Enter, got that? Yeah. All right then. Is there any other online? I can't see them on here. Okay, so I'm going to open up to anybody wishing to speak in favor of this application. Second time, anybody wishing to speak in favor?
I would, Your Honor.
Third time.
Mayor, can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
So my name is Trevor Watkins. I'm actually the owner of 250 Burnt Dam Road. I'm here today to specifically address the concerns regarding the rural vibe, distance from the road, line of sight, and road expropriation questions that were brought up last time. I want to start by saying I am disappointed that this is the first time I'm being allowed to respond to these points. Council's decision at the last meeting to move to a deferral without letting me address the floor was fundamentally unfair. To let a neighbor's voice concerns while unwittingly denying my voice was prejudicial to my application. Regarding the distance from the road.
Just a second, Trevor.
Yes.
Just a. Trevor.
Yes. Can you hear me? Hello? Can people hear me or no?
Trevor?
Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Scott Day?
Hi there, Trevor. Yes, I can hear you. I believe the council chamber might be having some technical
Yeah.
difficulties. I see them popping it on and off. So,
For sure. Looks like there's an internet connection issue there.
yeah, yes, I did notice that. So, um, to be honest, I hope that they're working to resolve it. So I think we should just stand by for the time being.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Can you hear us? Not sure. Can you hear us, Trevor?
I can hear you now, Mayor. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, can we try that again? I don't know whether, I think it's our internet. I was gonna say shut your video off and just, we can hear the audio, but I think it's our end that the problem is.
Possible. What would you like?
No, go ahead, just let's try again.
Okay. You just let me know if it starts to crackle up, please, Mayor.
Okay,
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll just start again. That my name is Trevor Watkins, owner of 250 Burnt Dam Road, and I'm here today to specifically address the concerns regarding rural vibe, distance from the road, line of sight, and road expropriation. I want to start by saying I'm disappointed that this is the first time I'm being allowed to respond to these points, as council's decision at the last meeting to move to a deferral without letting me address the floor was fundamentally unfair. To let a neighbor voice concerns while unwittingly denying my voice was prejudicial to my application. Regarding the distance from the road, I want to be very clear about why the building is positioned where it is. I walked that land 1,000 times, marking and measuring, trying to find a solution that balanced CVCA, restricted zones, the neighbors' thoughts, and the simple logistics of being able to grab a wrench at my waterfront lot without needing to take the Alto to get to my garage. Through collaboration with the CVCA and HBM Planning and the building department, we actually pushed the garage back as far as we could into the hill. I really wanted a way to drive around the building for snow clearing, but to address the concerns with the road, I compromised. We've pushed it right up against the hill. I'll just have to make do with not clearing around the other side. This position is a geographical necessary not a preference. To address the rural vibe questions, while other properties on Burnt Dam Road support high-intensity activities like boat storage and mechanical repair, my project is strictly personal hobby space. My garage will sit behind a row of hedges for privacy, ensuring it is obscured from view. If the road can accommodate those types of established commercial uses, it can certainly establish and accommodate a single professionally finished building that is tucked against a hill. It is also further back from most of my neighbors' residential houses. This neighborhood has evolved from the multi-million-dollar homes on Round Lake to the massive compounds Council has approved within HBM, like the Scott McGillivray project, which is amazing. The character of our area is no longer defined by wartime cottages for that rural vibe. Furthermore, Council is tasked with considering this application on its own technical merits. Allowing the conversation to shift towards a subjective vibe ignores the fact that this project meets every requirement laid out by the planning department. Regarding the line of sight and safety, the road is perfectly straight in that area. You don't even see the garage until you are right at the property, and there are zero line of sight concerns for drivers. Finally, regarding the expropriation question, that section of the road was already cut off my property when I purchased it and reflected in the drawings. It is a non-issue on my land, and although it may be a concern for Mr. Rodo in the future, I've compromised on my site plan to be a good neighbor, and I expect the same consistency and fairness from Council that has been granted to every other project on this road, this lake, and in this township. My current garage here in Shannonville is 1,600 square feet, and with my multiple classic cars and my hoist, it is not enough. And so when I retire there and have to put my pontoon in there and be able to move things around, I want to be able to retire to Havelock, and that's where I grew up. I went to high school in Norwood. This is my home, and I want to be there with my stuff and be able to tinker away in my garage. That's all I'm looking for. Thank you for your time, everyone. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Trevor. And there will be some questions following. I got two more times here. Is there anybody else wishing to speak in favor of this application? And third time, anybody wishing to speak in favor? Okay, I'll start off here. Just one thing there, Trevor. Were you on the last meeting that we had here that we deferred it? Because I don't understand why you didn't speak.
I don't understand either, your mayor. I was definitely there, and I brought that to the attention to Bob, and he apologized on everybody's behalf. I was very disappointed that I wasn't able to speak on my behalf.
So that's where at the beginning, like today, it's opened up to anybody wishing to speak in favor of the application, and the applicant usually speaks,
Yep.
but
Exactly.
unfortunately.
There was
Okay,
just a-
all right.
there was just a
So yeah, there
procedural
is
miscommunication on the council's end, which is no problem. I'm glad to be heard today. Thank you, Mayor.
All right then. So okay, I'm going to open it up to council here, and if you have any questions for Mr. Watkins or Scott with regards to the planning, either or. Any questions from council? So Scott, are you there still? He's there.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I am still here. Happy to answer any questions as necessary.
So the one part that you did state in your opening statements is that for this deferral, it didn't have to, it wasn't circulated the same as the first one. It just goes, we did our due diligence by putting it out on our website.
Yes,
we circulated the agenda.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, that is correct. So I just a small little explanation on that. So the meeting on February 17th was the statutory public meeting. And that is what is required under the Planning Act for the public to be notified of when it does get returned for, if it was deferred, this would be essentially the decision meeting. Essentially, you don't have to resend public notice or recirculate it to surrounding property owners. However, again, the agenda was on the township's website, which is available to the public in advance of the meeting. And like I said, anyone who did make written or oral submissions will be notified of the decision of council if one is made today.
All right, thank you. I just want to make sure that we've done our part as far as what we're supposed to do. So, anyways, does council have any other questions for either or? So we have a recommendation here. Oh, sorry, Deb, go ahead.
Through you, Mayor Martin, what is normally the size of the garages on the Bird Road?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for the question. Just in response to that, there are a number of existing structures, particularly along the western side of Burnt Dam Road. I will recognize that they are smaller than what is proposed. However, the western side of Burnt Dam Road have smaller lots. And to kind of answer your question in terms of what size is permitted, so for accessory uses, so this would include garages or anything of that matter, essentially there's a limit on lot coverage, and that is essentially what just defines the maximum size of accessory structures on a particular lot, as well as there's a maximum lot coverage which pertains to the parent zone, which again on the western side of Burnt Dam Road would likely be the seasonal residential zone. So because the lots are smaller and it's kind of a percentage, and I believe for accessory structures it's 8%. Again, you can't have 8% of a smaller lot would occupy a smaller area, so therefore they will be smaller. Notably, the applicant's parcel, which is particularly on the eastern lot, has a larger lot area. So the lot coverage with that, so I do have it here, but it is approximately 3.2% lot coverage of that eastern parcel. So it's actually below even though it is larger, and I do acknowledge that, than some of the existing structures on the western side of Burnt Dam Road, it is still within that 8% requirement by the zoning bylaw. Just a couple other points, just really quickly on size as well too. There is what we are amending or proposing to amend is already a site-specific zone, which does apply to this eastern parcel. And in the zone that exists already, there's a maximum floor area specified at 100 square meters. So we're looking to expand that to 480, and you would think that is, that's quite a bit of an increase. However, that still again represents 3.2%, but it's also not the total footprint. How it's written is floor area. This is divided amongst 2 floors. So the actual footprint would be about half of that. So about 240 square meters, 204 square meters or less. So approximately 2,500 square feet would be the footprint. And the last point that I will say to this is that there was a limit in that original zoning bylaw, which applied to that eastern parcel to limit the amount of structures which you can have on the site. So we are continuing to, because this is like a structure that's 480 square meters in area, even essentially you could build up to 8% lot coverage. So you could almost add another one the way the zoning is written. So we are recommending to keep that limit of 1 structure on this particular property, to limit it to this structure that's being proposed. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it did. Thank you very much.
Okay, so the recommendation that we have before us here is that subject to any new information or public comments received prior to or at statutory public meeting, the draft bylaw be passed as presented and that the balance of the report be received. What's council's thoughts here? Councilor Doherty?
Through Mayor, what, maybe. It's Travis's, but what is the actual square it's 2-story, we double the square foot. Use it as an example, because that, the footprint just covers half of it, right? Or do we normally put the two-story,
The lot coverage we would take. The 2 stories would be gross floor area, so I believe that's why they've listed both.
okay, thank you.
All right,
Sorry, I follow up. What is the actual size? 80 feet by what? It could get to 5,000, that would require quite a size.
Previous mayor, I don't have the application, maybe Scott could answer that question for us.
Sorry, yeah.
80 by 60.
80 by 32.
Through you, Mr. Mayor.
So that's 250.
Oh, sorry, I can provide you with the dimensions if you'd
Yeah.
like. Okay, perfect. For the dimensions, the proposed structure is 78 feet. That would be the width parallel to Burnt Dam Road, by 32 feet, which would be the depth. So 78 feet by 32 feet, for a total of just under 2,500 square feet of a footprint.
thank you. Okay, so what's council's thoughts here? It's the recommendations before you, so. What do you want? Deputy Mayor Webb.
No, through you, Mayor. Well, the number of issues have come up around this property. We discussed in terms of, it's well over in terms of the floor area coverage. It's over on the height. We've mentioned a few issues there in terms of, we've had the applicant say that he couldn't speak last meeting. I'm aware that there's a few people that would probably like to be at this meeting to speak as well. Just personally, I'm not ready to move ahead with this. I would move to defer this and hopefully gain more information moving forward and see. Personally, I think the building, I know we can waive kind of some of these regulations or still pass it if you know, the floor coverage is over, the height is over. Typically we do that when we don't receive negative comments from neighbors. This seems like it's really going to cause a big problem in the area with neighbors in terms of their enjoyment of their property. Different things, maybe sight lines. I know there's roads there in terms of the size of the building. There's too many questions around this at the moment. As I said, if I could move to defer it and possibly let the applicant come back with more information or something at a future meeting. But as of right now, I'm not ready to move forward with this.
Okay, so you're moving that we defer? Okay, all right. Yeah, Dory, you're seconding that?
That's right.
All right then. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, so it's deferred. All right, the next item on here is Travis, in regards to a zoning bylaw amendment, general housekeeping.
Morning, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Staff are proposing a housekeeping bylaw item. In fact, the entire township within the zoning designation short seasonal residential zones. For a comprehensive zoning bylaw 1995-42 as amended. And the housekeeping item is just with respect to accessory structures constructed more than 30 meters back from the high water mark. So currently in our zoning bylaw, a while ago, we put a clause in there to assist with allowing accessory structures to be built to a taller height without having to go through planning applications. In doing so, we allow them up to 25 feet tall, but we increase the side yard setback and the rear yard setback to 29.5 feet. That restricts smaller buildings to be closer to the property line. So any accessory building right now constructed more than 30 meters back from the high water mark has to be 29.5 feet from any other lot line. So we're proposing to allow, similar to any other zone, an accessory structure that's constructed to a height of 15 feet or less to be 10 feet from the property line. And then any accessory structure that's constructed between 15 feet and 25 feet in height, the 29.5 foot setback will still apply. Notice was circulated in accordance with the Planning Act. We received only one comment from Enbridge Gas, no concerns. Subject to any other comments here today, staff's recommendation that housekeeping bylaw amendment be approved.
Okay. All right, then, so this just makes cleans up some of the paperwork. All right, then. All right, so open up to council, Councillor Clement.
So through you, remember, 1995 is a long time, so I'm gonna make a motion that we pass the amendment.
Okay, got a seconder for that. Okay, second by Councillor Jordan. Any questions? All in favor? And that's carried. Okay. All right, so that's all we have for zoning bylaw amendments. I'll look for motion that we move out of this meeting. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Doherty, all in favor. And that's carried. And now I'll look for a motion that we go into a public meeting for committee of adjustment with the Deputy Mayor and the Chair. So that's moved by Councillor Clement, second by Councillor Flagler, all in favor. And that's carried. So
Thank you, Mayor Martin, and members of the Committee of Adjustment. I'd like to call this public meeting to order and remind the members of the committee of the requirement to disclose any pecuniary interest and general nature thereof if the occasion arises. This public meeting is held under Section 45 of the Planning Act and its regulations, and we'll now have our planning consultant, Scott, present just one minor variance today. Burkett, I believe. Scott, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through you. Yes, the first minor variance, excuse me, the only minor variance that I'll be presenting today is file number A-01-26. This application was submitted by Bob Prins on behalf of the property owners, Tyler and Alicia Burkett, and the property is municipally known as 316 Mile of Memories Road. The property is located on Belmont Lake and identified as part of Lot 13, Concession 5, with the roll number 153101000331100. The property is approximately 1,100 square meters or 0.3 acres in area and is designated shoreland areas in the waterfront in the county official plan and shoreline in the township's official plan. The property is zoned seasonal residential zone in the township's zoning bylaw. The applicants are seeking to demolish the existing garage on the property and construct a new enlarged garage with an area of 53.5 square meters or about 576 square feet located slightly to the north and west of the existing garage. To facilitate this, the following variances are required. Increasing the maximum permitted lot coverage from 15% to 23%, reducing the minimum side yard for an accessory building to 1.5 meters or 5 feet from the northern side lot line, where 9 meters or 29.5 feet is required, and also reducing the minimum side lot line for an accessory building to 6.4 meters or 21 feet from the southern side lot line, where 9 meters or 29.5 feet is required. The subject site is currently developed with a single detached dwelling and a one-story detached garage, which is approximately 35 square meters or about 380 square feet in area. These, along with additional accessory structures, result in an existing lot coverage of approximately 21%. As such, the proposed development represents only a 2% increase in lot coverage from the existing condition. The proposal will result in no net increase in the number of structures on the property. The upper story of the proposed garage is intended to be used as a storage loft to accommodate household storage. The inclusion of this feature is intended to reduce or eliminate the need for future accessory structures on the property, and the height of the proposed garage complies with the zoning bylaw. The existing lot fabric itself does not comply with the minimum lot area and frontage requirements of the zoning bylaw. So due to these constraints, the proposed garage cannot accommodate the 9-meter required setbacks from the side lot lines. Notably, the existing garage does also not comply with these required setbacks. While the proposed garage has a larger footprint, its placement will increase the setback from the southern lot line and reduce the setback from the northern side lot line compared to the existing condition. This location maintains appropriate separation from existing development on adjacent properties and improves site functionality by allowing for direct vehicle access from the driveway connecting to Mile of Memories Road, eliminating the need for a 90-degree turn to access the garage. As such, in the township's opinion, it is our opinion, that the application meets the 4 tests for a minor variant and is consistent with the applicable policies of the provincial planning statement. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions from members of committee or the public in attendance. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Scott. Is the applicant or their agent present with us today?
Good day, everyone. It's Bob here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing, Mr. Prince? You have anything to add?
Good.
Did you have anything to add, Mr. Prince?
Oh, no, just he covered everything.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone present or online wishing to speak in opposition of this application today? Second time, anyone online or present wishing to speak in opposition? Third and final time, anyone wishing to speak in opposition of this application? Is there anyone present or online wishing to speak in favor of the application? Second time, anyone in favor? Third and final time, anyone wishing to speak in favor of the application? Hearing no comments, I'll open up the floor for any questions or comments from the members of the committee. Or a motion. Mayor Martin, go ahead.
Yeah, so everything's in order here, so I'll make a motion that we with the recommendation for application A0126.
So we have a motion to approve from Mayor Martin to approve the application. Do I have a seconder for that? Seconded by Councillor Doherty. Any comments or questions on the motion? If not, all in favor? And that motion is passed. Thank you very much, Scott, for your report here today. And I'll just take a motion now to adjourn the public meeting and return back to our regular council meeting. Councillor Clement and Councillor Doherty. All in favor? Thank you, Mayor Martin.
All right, then. So we're going to move into planning report and big planning day today. So we have proposed lot addition here, application B1326. We've taken this one. Nolan, you want? Okay.
Yep. Thank you. And through the chair, I will be discussing the lot addition application B1326 related to the property municipally known as 16 Fire Route 99 in the Methuen ward with roll number 1531 010 009 38901. The purpose of this application is to sever lands from the property at 16 Fire Route 99, which is owned by Tanya Kyron, to be added to the benefiting property, municipally known as 22 Fire Route 99, owned by Beverly Russell, for the purposes of formalizing vehicular access to the benefiting property. The proposed lot addition will formalize an existing agreement between the landowners of the proposed severed lot and the benefiting lot, where Beverly Russell currently accesses her property over an existing driveway on the adjacent property at 16 Fire Route 99. The proposed lot addition will sever a 78-meter portion of Tanya's Kyron's property at 16 Fire Route 99, which contains the existing driveway providing access to Beverly Russell. The severed driveway will then be conveyed to Beverly Russell's property at 22 Fire Route 99 to ensure that vehicular access is provided on the same lot. I will note that the driveway to be severed is not used to access 16 Fire Route 99. 16 Fire Route 99 will maintain its existing driveway access, and the proposed lot addition will not negatively impact vehicular access to that property. The proposed benefiting lands at 22 Fire Route 99 are currently zoned seasonal residential zone, which requires a minimum lot area of 0.3 hectares and a minimum lot frontage of 46 meters for the site. The proposed benefiting land currently has a deficient lot area and lot frontage and does not comply with the seasonal residential zone requirements. Should the subject consent application be approved, the benefiting lands will have a resulting lot area of 0.11 hectares. No changes are proposed to the existing lot frontage of the benefiting lands. The subject site at 16 Fire Route 99 is currently zoned seasonal residential in the township zoning bylaw. The lot currently complies with the requirements of the seasonal residential zone. The proposed consent application will result in a decreased lot area for the retained lands. However, the retained lands will continue to comply with the lot area requirements of the seasonal residential zone. This report recommends that Township Council endorses the application for consent to the Peterborough County Land Division Committee with the conditions as proposed.
Okay, thank you, Nolan. So what's council's thoughts? They've got a recommendation before you. Moved by Councilor Clement. Second by Deputy Mayor Webb. Any questions? All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, the next application here is Nolan, you can take it over. It's B9125.
Thank you, and through you, Mr. Chair, I will be discussing the lot addition applications B9125 and B9225 concurrently today, as they are closely related. Both applications are for consents for the purposes of lot addition. Excuse me. My apologies. You may recall the subject applications from both the December 16th, 2025 council agenda, where the applications were first presented, and the January 13th, 2026 council agenda, where application B9225 was presented once again to correct an error related to the zoning of the subject properties and to establish conditions. In the time since application B9225 was presented to council on January 13th, 2026, the applicant has clarified that the initial lot addition application was incorrect due to an error contained in the severance sketch submitted. The applicants provided an updated application forms and drawings for both applications B9125 and B9225 in March of 2026. The initial application B9225 presented at the December 16th and January 13th council meetings mistakenly proposed a lot addition application to sever a 0.25 hectare portion of backlot lands owned by an advance to be conveyed to the property at 170 Fire Route 57, which is owned by Sean Hogue. The applicant has since confirmed that the intent of the application B9225 is to sever the same 0.25 hectare parcel from the backlot lands owned by an advance to be conveyed to the property at 178 Fire Route 57, which is a nearby property also owned by Sean Hogue. The purpose of the lot addition is to support an enlarged lot fabric on the benefiting lands. The proposed benefiting lands at 178 Fire Route 57 are currently undersized with an area of 0.15 hectares and frontage on Cordova Lake. The owner of 178 Fire Route 57, Sean Hogue, also owns the approximately 0.03 hectare parcel with roll number 1531 010 006 13902, which is located to the east of 178 Fire Route 57 on the opposite side of Fire Route 57. Another purpose of application B9225 is to merge the 0.03 hectare parcel with the property at 178 Fire Route 57 to establish a more regular lot fabric. Should the proposed lot addition and merger be approved, the resulting lot area for the property at 178 Fire Route 57 will be 0.43 hectares, meeting the minimum lot area requirement of the seasonal residential zone. As the proposed severed lands owned by an advance are zoned rural, township staff are recommending that a condition be added to the provisional approval of the consent application to rezone the entirety of the proposed lot fabric of the benefiting lands to the seasonal residential zone to avoid the creation of a lot which is split into more than one zone. I will now speak to application B9125. The purpose of application B9125 is to sever lands from the property municipally known as 170 Fire Route 57, owned by Sean Hogue, to be conveyed to an adjacent parcel municipally known as 166 Fire Route 57, owned by Jason and Annette Vance. I will emphasize that the purpose of the application B9125 has not changed since it was initially presented to Council in December of 2025. However, since the previous recommendation report referred extensively to the associated application B9225, application B9125 will be presented and reconsidered holistically in consideration of the updated application B9225. To reiterate, application B9225 will add lands to 178 Fire Route 57 and not the proposed retained lands at 170 Fire Route 57 as previously discussed. The proposed benefiting lands, municipally known as 166 Fire Route 57, have an area of approximately 0.14 hectares with approximately 34.4 meters of water frontage on Cordova Lake. An associated lot addition application B9325 was provisionally approved by County Council on March 9th, 2026, which will increase the lot area of the property at 166 Fire Route 57 to approximately 0.22 hectares once the approval is finalized. Should the subject lot addition application B9125 be approved, the resulting lot area of 166 Fire Route 57 will be 0.41 hectares, meeting the minimum lot size requirement of the seasonal residential zone. The property at 170 Fire Route 57, owned by Sean Hogue, is comprised of two detached parcels, which are separated by a portion of Annette Vance's backlot property containing Fire Route 57's right-of-way. Through the subject application, the applicant is also seeking to merge the two detached parcels comprising 170 Fire Route 57. The Fire Route 57 right-of-way is proposed to stay in Annette Vance's name, and therefore no changes to vehicular access is proposed through the subject application. The proposed merger will result in a lot area of 0.31 hectares for the merged property at 170 Fire Route 57, complying with the requirements of the seasonal residential zone. The proposed severed lands owned by Sean Hogue and the proposed benefiting lands owned by Jason and Annette Vance are each zoned with a site-specific special district zone, which provide minimum lot area requirements reflecting the existing lot fabrics. Township staff are recommending that conditions be added to the provisional approval of the consent application to rezone the new proposed lot fabric to recognize new lot areas for both the proposed benefiting lands and the proposed retained lands relative to the requirement of the township zoning bylaw. This report recommends that Township Council endorses the applications for consent to the Peterborough Land Division Committee with the conditions as proposed. Thank you.
Thanks, Nolan. There's a lot of numbers in there that that's one of the most confusing ones I've had in a long time. So trying to put all the numbers together and line them all up here. So the two applications were presented together. You've got 9125 and 9225. So the motion would be to the recommendation for both of them. You want a question? You got a question?
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
So through you, Mayor, so this is, I got this right. So is 166 and 178 currently owned by Vance and Hogue is in the middle? But at the end of it, it's going to be Vance, Hogue.
Through the chair, it's a bit difficult to picture, I guess, without a map up here, but I can confirm that 166 Fire Route 99 is owned by Jason and Annette Vance.
Right.
While 170 Fire Route 57 is owned by Sean Hogue.
Right.
And 178 Fire Route 57 is also owned by Sean Hogue.
Oh.
So the two, I guess, southern properties, 170 Fire Route 57 and 178, are both owned by Sean Hogue. And the proposal is to take lands from Annette Vance's backlot property to be added to 178 Fire Route 57. This is the purpose of application B9225, to create a more linear lot fabric at 178 Fire Route 57, while the application B9125, the intent is to sever the northern portion of 170 Fire Route 57 owned by Sean Hogue to be conveyed to the Annette and Jason Vance owned lands at 160 Fire Route 57, which will also create a more regular rectangular and enlarged lot fabric for that site.
Okay, so follow on that, on our map that I'm looking at, it says that lot 178 was severed from Vance. That was already done, or is that part of this? I'm a little bit confused on that little part there.
As far as I understand, application B9225 is to sever lands from Annette Vance. Sever lands from Annette Vance's backlot property, which is kind of behind those properties, to be added to 178 Fire Route 57. 178 Fire Route 57 is an existing lot, and it has already been established and is owned by Sean Hogue. I appreciate that the applications are confusing, so if I didn't quite answer your question correctly, let me know and I can hopefully clarify.
So can you see the?
Yes.
The map, the drawing on the screen?
My apologies.
Does that mean that the whole 17? Yeah, no.
Can you hear us?
Sorry, yes, through the chair. I think it's cutting out a little bit, but I can hear you now.
Okay. Sorry, no, I'll try to speak clearly here. So with the new properties, with the 170 being Hogue and 178 being Hogue, does that mean when the change is made, those properties be merged?
Through the chair, once those property fabrics are formalized, it is not the intent that these properties be merged, to my understanding. And that will be worked out on the legal side at the county level following should these lot addition applications be approved. But the intent is to be very intentional with how these applications proceed to ensure that the lot fabrics as shown in this drawing, are what is created in the end. And so, yeah, on the legal side of things, it'll be ensured that these properties don't merge on title if that's not the intent of the Hogues.
Okay, thank you for that. And then just for more clarification, if I go up to, I guess it's a Vance property at 166, the portion in the middle with the red lines, it says, I got two arrows saying severed. So has that previously been severed? Like, why is one red lines and one's blocked in red?
Yes.
What's the differentiation there?
Through the chair, the striped portion in the middle of 166 Fire Route 57 is the lot addition that was approved through application B9325. So these three applications were initially presented together in December of 2025, and application B9325 has proceeded as it was the first lot addition that would need to be completed in order to essentially connect 166 Fire Route 99 properly. So County Council has approved application B9325 to add that striped portion in the middle to 166 Fire Route 57, and that will need to clear conditions. Following that lot fabric being formalized and finalized, application B9125 will add the northern red portion, that severed parcel, to 166 Fire Route 57. So it was two associated consents that will kind of form one contiguous parcel.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I was a part of that decision in terms of from the county on the first parcel. And I think there was questions in terms of that Fire Road 57 that's running down through there, so I'll just leave it to council. We can do what we want here, but I'm sure it's gonna face more questions at the county level when it gets there, because it was already there. Some of these questions were brought up before, so just for background. Thank you, Noah.
Okay, Councilor Doherty, go ahead.
Through your chair, that was one of the issues that I have around it is if you look at the map and then previous, your comment said that Vance is going to hold the right of way rights to the road. Did I understand that right? No?
Through the chair, that is correct. If you see this green portion that's kind of highlighted between the two portions of 170 Fire Route 57, that is a parcel of land that will stay in Annette Vance's backlot property. And the township and county staff have reviewed the ownership of Fire Route 57 and confirmed the ownership of the portions of Fire Route 57 here, which is owned by Annette Vance, and have no concerns at the moment related to access. These lots, 170 Fire Route 57, 166 Fire Route 57, sorry, and 178 are all existing and have functional vehicular access over Fire Route 57. And as the ownership of Fire Route 57 in this location will not change, it's anticipated that the agreements that are in place for access are sufficient and can stay operational. And just highlighting that these lot additions are not changing anything related to vehicular access over Fire Route 57. I'll also note, I recall in the December meeting, the council made a request to look into the ownership and access over Fire Route 57. And I'll just note also that as you all know, fire routes are very common in the township, and they are not always formal and legal access agreements are not always established over these fire routes, and they operate with more or less informal agreements. So recognizing that this fire route is currently functional and no changes are proposed to the ownership, we don't anticipate any concerns related to access as of now.
Follow up. That's great. That's all now. That's the operative word. But if this property or any of these properties change hands, the person that holds the rights over the right of way have the right not to allow them to do the road. Is that right? Or they have a subsequent agreement that allows them to access it?
Through the chair, unfortunately, I don't think I have a extremely clear answer on this, as I don't have the legal background and how these easement agreements would work over time. But I see Alicia has popped on, so I'll defer to Alicia for this question.
Well, my real question is, it is fine now, but when the property changes hands, generally something comes up. I just want to make sure it's formally in there. And my second question is, I thought I read in there, there's no availability of building lots on any of the properties on the other side of the fire road. Is that right?
Through the chair, as far as building on the other side of the fire route, as these parcels will all be merged on each side of the fire route, they will be treated as one lot for zoning purposes. And as these lots are currently developed with seasonal residential dwellings, they would not be permitted to build an additional seasonal residential dwelling on the other side of the fire route. And that's to say that the lots will still have legal rights to build accessory structures such as sheds, depending on lot coverage calculations and the zoning standards applying to those lots. But as for building new seasonal residential developments, you would not be permitted to build essentially two cottages on these lots.
Thanks,
To follow
Nolan.
up with my mayor, through the chair, I thought you said earlier that they weren't merging and now you're saying they all will merge. So are all the parcels being severed are going to be added to all the lots and it'll become one parcel? I
Through
just
the
want to be clear.
through the chair, no. Sorry that if that was confusing. When I was referring to the merging, I was referring to the severed parcel of essentially I was referring to 170 merging with the other side of 170 Fire Route 57 and 178 Fire Route 57 merging with the proposed severed lands on the other side. So 166 Fire Route 57, 170, and 178 Fire Route 57 will all be separate lots. As you can see in this drawing, 166 will be the northernmost, 170 will be the middle, and 178 will be the southernmost. So the lot fabrics, the merging, I guess, is referred to the severed parcels through these lot additions that will then be merged to their respective lots. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah. And I see Alicia's marking up the screen there.
Very poorly, I might add. My apologies for my artistic abilities there. But yeah, I guess I'll just add on to some of what Nolan's saying here. And I do just want to touch on the legal access part of that as well through you, Mr. Mayor. So to confirm, the properties will not be merging. I guess I would say, like, if we're just focusing on the north arrow here, they won't be merging north-south. They will be doing exactly what Nolan is suggesting, is that they'll be merging with the established waterfront property that already exists. They'll be taking some of that land from the Annette Vance-owned back lot, and they will be adding it to the shoreline lots to provide them with a more, yes, linear, functional footprint. And there will continue to be the lands through here that Nolan had mentioned, and that is part of the councilor's concern, I believe, through you, Mr. Mayor, is, you know, this continuous ownership of the Vance property. And so that is why, in part, we would have the merger agreement specifically with the I guess I would say the quote back lot portions here that would then be added to these ones here. And so those merger agreements would specify that this land and this land are inexplicably they're continuing to be tied. You cannot sell a parcel from it. It has to be sold this way so that in the future, when that merger agreement is registered on title, if the property does eventually change hands, somebody would like to sell this lot, it would be that this lot and this lot go together, similar with this lot, and then when the time comes, these three lots together. To clarify, in terms of if somebody could, stop legal access or prevent somebody from traversing those lands in the future. I don't want to speak too freely in a legal manner because we're just planners at this point, but my understanding is that should there be established legal access to all of the properties that exist along the shore there, nothing about those should change through these applications. So assuming that every single one of these properties was established with the appropriate easements, or the appropriate sort of forced right of way over the Vance lands when these lands were divided up, then they will continue to be maintained. And as part of one of the conditions that council had added back in December, the condition was to confirm the ownership to see if there will be any issues related to access. And in correspondence with the county's land division staff, we did not find anything concerning in terms of who owned the land and if those lands will change in terms of who can be accessing them legally as a result of the maintenance of the ownership through Annette Vance's lands. So effectively, there's no changes anticipated, and should the lands change hand in the future, no changes would be anticipated. I will hesitate to dive any further into that should somebody decide that they would like to retain legal counsel one day to determine if they can prevent people from entering their lands. That, I think, to Nolan's point, is a larger issue with fire routes in general. It's established, and there are certain timelines in either planning acts or other legal applications, effectively, that constitute whether access can be provided, and that is beyond the scope of the applications in this manner today.
So our job today is, if we endorse this, it's gonna go through some more critiquing up at the county. Deputy Mayor Webb sits on there, so we've seen some of this at the last application, so. For today, we do have the recommendations here, that we can work with. And it will have some more eyes on it, when it gets to the county too, before it's finalized, so. What the council thoughts, the recommendation for both these later, when, if they do put an accessory building, when it comes up to things like we just heard it in the previous zoning bylaw, gives them more property. So their application, I think, would come to a bigger piece of property as far as when you get to size, if I'm not mistaken. So the recommendations are here. What's council's thoughts? Move it. Moved by Councillor Flagler, second by Councillor Clement. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, thank you. And thank you, Nolan. So the next item here, Travis, is environmental mitigation agreements.
The environmental mitigation agreement for property owners Andrew John Hogue and Catherine Lang, parts lots 14, concession 2, Belmont, being part 9 and 10 on plan 45R477, assessment roll number 15310100003 06200, with the severed lot being part lots 14 and 15, concession 2, Belmont, being part 1 on plan 45R17882, assessment roll number 15310100003 06508. So the mitigation measures agreement, recognizing the recommendations, environmental impact study by Sumac Environmental Consulting dated March 19th, 2024, is a condition of consent.
Thank you.
Mr. Driscoll, you're here today.
Thank you. All right then, so moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Clement, all in favor? And that's carried. The next on here is encroachment agreement on Shady Lane.
The encroachment agreement is respect to the request that was received in May 2025. In July 2025, the request was brought to council, and the request was from Stuart Lang and Jacqueline Planning to enter into encroachment agreement for the existing structure that's located on Shady Lane from the abutting lands PD 253 Shady Lane, roll number 1531 010 007 So at the previous council meeting was a request. We did not have a survey at the time or did not know the amount of the encroachment. So the owners have went ahead and incurred the cost of a survey and done a sketch. Sketch shows 2 trailers and 3 sheds encroaching within the total out of Shady Lane. So the council is okay with the request in principle, we'll bring back an encroachment agreement at a later date.
Okay, so defer it to a later date until
We're going principle.
yeah. Okay.
Don't do that.
Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Doherty, all in favor, and that's carried. Okay. So this is the application for purchase of township unopened road. It's deferred, or sorry, it's between concession 3 and 4.
3 of this application has been deferred to May 19th, 2026.
Okay.
Regular report back on the unit.
All right, so motion deferred. Or do we need a motion for that then? No, okay. All right then. That's it. So we're gonna get a motion here to take a recess for 10 minutes. So Moved by Councillor Clement, second by Councillor Doherty, all in favor. We have carried promotion to resume the meeting, moved by Councillor Doherty, second by Councillor Flagler, all in favor. That's carried. We're back in the council meeting. We're going to move into staff reports for information. We have 4 here with regards to for information. So we have the building department activity report for February and the activity report for March. And then we have treasurer's update from capital project. Thank you, Lionel. And the Parks and Rec update. So, are there any questions for any of those reports? If not, I'll look for a motion to receive. Bev, go ahead.
Question?
Yeah.
Through you, Mayor Martin. The question is regarding the, I'm sorry, update on capital projects. Sorry, Lionel. I noticed on there that King Street is still on there. So what about, I don't know where it is on the thing, but it is still there. Yes. So I'm curious, are we going to be fixing the problem on King Street?
Through Chair, probably I would defer to either Peter or Bob or both. It's still on the books, so if council so chose at some point, they could delete the project, and that would mean that any reserves that were earmarked for that would then be available for other projects.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Premier Martin, previous council did give direction to staff to proceed with a winter maintenance program regarding that item, which we have done so successfully for the past 2 or 3 years. So this matter remains on the list. We simply have not had a motion to remove it at this point. But if council wishes to remove it, we will take a motion to do so.
Councillor Clement?
Okay, so through your Mayor Martin, so Peter, if Peter agrees, should this come off? Do you think so? Okay, then let's remove it and does it back in reserves? Okay,
So you're making a motion that we remove that?
Yep.
There's a seconder for the motion. Anybody want to second that? Okay, no seconder.
I don't, yeah. No, no worries. I appreciate where Councillor Clement's coming from, and eventually I think we'll get there. I was just something, maybe I thought I'd leave it through this year, because I said, to Bob's point, it's been 2 or 3 years, but it's a seasonal thing, and I think what we're doing is we're just trying to make sure before we clear the money that the problem is actually done with, because I think we dealt with it before, Mr. Mayor, if I'm not correct, and it was something that maybe doesn't happen every year in terms of the flooding or whatnot, so.
I would have just thought after 3 years, it should have been cleaned up.
And to that, if possibly if you would amend your motion, something I could second is if we defer or refer this to budget this year, budget 2025 or 2025. With a note in terms of, taking it off then if we haven't received any issues over the summer. I'll leave that up to you.
That probably would be decided if you want to move it to 2027 budget discussion.
All right, then I'll amend my motion to
And I'll say,
27.
I'll send that motion to Deputy Mayor Webb. Questions, comments? Okay, all in favor? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
All in favor, and that's carried. Okay,
And if I can ask you another question through your merit. Peninsula Road, Peter, what do we got left to do there? We got 25 grand there left over from the initial 90. What? Okay.
Excuse me, through your Mayor, which line are we looking at?
It's under marked, like the roads, parks, it's about halfway down, sign needs study, and then Peninsula Road, gravel all, so it's right in the middle. It says 90, spent 66, 24 left. Is that, I'm just trying to figure out what it's for.
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin. So that was I believe the Peninsula Road that we dealt with the resident up there on the ownership of it. I believe that's all been completed. I know it was through planning. That was it'll come into under the roads department because obviously it's a road, but it was dealt with, I think, if I want to say the resident, our road was going across, Peninsula Road was going across his property. And that come to council, I believe it is all settled and done.
Out in Triton.
The mill, I believe.
The mill, yeah. Oh, okay.
I believe that's all settled and done.
So there was a surplus? Is that actually, I haven't got this copy, that just came today, it doesn't. I don't know what you're talking about, so.
Yeah. Excuse me, through you, Mayor.
Yeah, it's on here, but it's. Yeah, but the hard copy, yeah, I got that, the hard copy, I didn't bring it in, it's too hard to see.
The reason I'm asking through your chair is it's anything that he can capsulize that if it's finished and put it on the 27 budget and then because we're not going to do anymore. It's a line on there that we're saying we're not doing anything and we're finished with it. So let's maybe tidy up if line was okay with putting on the budget or whatever.
Through you, Chair, it could be part of the budget process where we do both King Street, Peninsula Road, and frankly, anything else on the list. It would be, I think, a really appropriate idea to just quickly go through these. If we're not going to do any or we're done, that would be a nice start to the process to free up any reserves that we could use for something else in the budget.
Yeah. Should have been in follow-up, been information on it.
Just one question through you, Peter, regarding the removal of a parking spot at Old Town Hall.
Yeah, so through you, Mayor Martin. So we had initially proposed a parking spot right in front of the town hall, because currently it sits as a paved boulevard. So we wanted to create a sidewalk and a handicap parking spot for the town hall. And it's still on the list. It was approved in last year's budget, but because the town hall was we didn't proceed. We were just waiting for direction there. So, so that item can proceed this year.
Oh, okay, so that parking spot now will be a wheelchair parking spot.
Yes, we're gonna shift the sidewalk. Yeah, we're gonna shift the parking spot back a little bit so we can extend the sidewalk down to Oak Street.
Okay.
Okay. We prefer just to mail it.
Well, we did went through it, but it's not civic for information.
Okay.
They're gonna deal with
We
it.
go through it quickly, but
Yeah.
we'll probably deal with it again. I think
It will come up automatically.
Lionel's just looking for direction in terms of just here for next year's budget, kind of getting that.
Through you, Mayor Martin, the suggestion from the treasurer was not to do this today. I think that was to, future meeting, we can go through the list.
Okay.
Maybe that's the next budget processing.
Sorry, Lionel.
Through Sharon. Yeah, that as usual, Bob is correct. By the time we start to do the next year's budget, we'll have a lot more clarity on all of these. So I could see us going quickly through this. Well, these are completed. We're going to unencumber those funds. These projects aren't going ahead. Those can be used as well for other projects. So it would just be a good way to start next year's process before we start to review the books.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a good document and it has to be dealt with, but it will be dealt with.
Okay.
Budget discussions start.
Okay.
We'll be a little farther into it then. So for today, these are information only items.
Well, that's good, but partially for next year's budget, but it's also to keep us current on where we are in
Yeah.
each project, and
Yeah.
it's part of the minutes. So it goes out, so if somebody wants to know what we're doing, then this is done, and that's why it's important that it be kept up.
It's a good document.
Why it's got, whether it comes out quarterly, I don't know what the discussion, why we can't, anyway, it is.
Very, very clear and easy to follow. Yeah.
So for today, it's a motion to receive the information item. Oh, sorry, just met Lionel.
Just to clarify, I agree with what Councillor Doherty's saying. If there are obvious issues or things that obviously aren't going to go ahead, it would make sense to clean them up. As far as going through line by line, I'm not sure if we need to today, but if there was something that clearly we don't need the money for in the budget, absolutely, we could make motions. So it's a little bit of both.
Okay. All right, thanks. So
Motion to approve.
yeah, motion to move to receive the Kathy and Bev.
Yes.
All in favor? And that's carried. Thanks. All right, so we're gonna move into staff report with follow-up action. So we have two items on here. First item here is the tender went out for two pickup trucks, one for Parks and Rec and one for roads. So I don't know who's gonna do the talking.
Yeah, so through you, Mayor Martin, so with the two trucks, the Parks Rec Department and Public Works combined the tender, which I think helped in receiving some better pricing. But the purpose of the report is to obtain council's approval to award number PRF 2026-02 for two new 2025 or 2026 weight 3/4 ton pickup trucks. As the report states, they ordered both 2026 trucks.
Good. Motion to move the recommendation. Moved by Councillor Clement, second by Councillor Flagler. Any questions? Comments? All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, yeah. Next item on here is information for security plan and privacy default protocols. Travis?
So that's part of our AMP bylaw, and the need to get first, so that we have the ability to review license plates for the purpose of parking tickets only. We have to submit an application for ARIS to the MPO. As part of the application, they've requested that we have these two policies. They need copies of those. That's the reason for the policies in front of council today. One being the information security plan privacy default protocol, and the second being the municipal privacy default protocol policy. So the approval of these today will assist us in obtaining ARIS.
Okay. All right, any questions for Travis? So the recommendations there. Moved by Councillor Clemens.
No, just on second that, let's get the comment to Travis and whoever helped, what other staff members helped. There's a lot of work put into it, so very well done. Thank you very much for getting that together, Travis. Yeah. Credit to Sonia as well. So this is one of Sonia's last things she helped. Well, thank some of the others.
Sure, right?
Second, any other questions with regards to this? All in favor? And that's carried. Here. Okay, so next on here, we don't have any action items in correspondence, but we have a few items there in information. Mainly around the Alto, and that's still ongoing, and this week is the last, this week's the last week. Right. Comments, and I'm sure there's been lots of them, we've sent ours, so anyways, so for today it would be just a motion to receive the correspondence for information. With by Kathy, second Customer Web, all in favor, and that's carried. Okay, so next we have liaison report, and County?
Just briefly, I'm not too much familiar with the county, last meeting, although county did pass a motion with regards to Alto. So I don't know if you want me to go through that real quick or, so I'll just read it for everybody because I thought I didn't forget to include it on the agenda. So we'll go very quickly. So, basically it was decided, it said council endorses the following 5 engagement principles for future discussions with Alto. Peterborough County will prioritize transparency and accountability, ensuring residents, businesses, and townships receive clear and consistent information at every stage of the project. 2, Peterborough County will work towards outcomes that reflect the long-term best interests of residents, businesses, and townships, supporting social well-being, economic vitality, and quality of life. Peterborough County will seek to minimize impacts to connectivity, municipal service delivery, agriculture's significant environmental features, and local employers while supporting responsible growth. Peterborough County will advocate for respect, fair treatment, and meaningful recognition of rural voices throughout the project development and implementation, reflecting its role as a champion for rural communities. And Peterborough County recognizes that Alto project presents both significant potential benefits and legitimate challenges for our communities. The community affirms that raising concerns, asking questions, and seeking improvements on behalf of residents does not equate to an endorsement or opposition of the project. That these engagement principles be shared with media, Alto, local MPs, local First Nations, and EOWC. And the council directs staff to establish a Peterborough County Alto Strategic Working Group as aligned in Appendix A. That Warden Bonnie Clark, Deputy Warden Sherry Senes, Councillor Pat Wilford, Councillor Matt Graham, Councillor Heather Watson, Councillor Jim Martin, and Councillor Joe Taylor be appointed to the Working Alto Group, and that the warden be authorized to act as a spokesman for said group. So basically, a motion there passed in terms of, obviously you can tell by the wording, it wasn't as strongly against Alto as we were, more in terms of engaging them and making a commitment to the residents that they will provide them with more information. So that's where the county sits at the moment.
Through you, Mayor Martin. So the county is not opposed to it. They're willing to work with them. That my understanding?
I have to watch how I answer that question. They're open, I say they're open to discussions at this moment, they're just in the listening process. So what you have, not to get into too much here, but people could probably figure out. A lot of the townships like us, Councillor Flagler, outside of the city or not as close to the city, that are opposed to this project because of the way it's going to affect ours. Some of the townships in Peterborough County that are closer to the city and probably closer to said station that's going to be built are seemingly more in favor of this project than the ones that are outside the city. So basically you've got half that want it and the other half that don't want it. So that's where they have
more than half.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what, yeah. It's
I know, it's through you, Mayor
there's
Martin.
not a consensus either way. So
Okay, through you, Mayor Martin. I'm not really concerned with that. What I'm concerned with is Peterborough County did not make a decision whether they were gonna, well, it sounds like they're gonna support it and try and work with them. I understand working with them because, you know, anyway, there are other counties, Northumberland County apparently has now opposed it. There are other counties that have spoke up and said something. I'm very disappointed in Peterborough County for not, not that I want them to oppose it, but they should be working towards something. Do they understand that this train goes straight as a board, 60 meters, and that 14 fence? Well, what does that do? That divides. That'll divide everything for wildlife, for people property, for our roads. Like, anyway, I don't really want to get into the logistics of it because I've read so much on it. It's like crazy. So anyway, well, thank you.
yeah. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Go ahead, Councillor Doherty.
Through you, Mayor Martin, for the life of me, I can't figure out why we're setting up a committee at county to deal with this when we have 5 disjointed townships or 4 or 3. We don't have the same interest. What are we going to have by another? I want information to come to us because it's our decision. It's not the county's decision. And I don't know what this new committee is going to do other than, I guess it satisfies the county. We have another committee now, but I don't see the value, but thank you.
So the ones that are on this are the one, all of the counties not on this committee. There's a couple of them that have nothing to do with it. So they're not on the committee. It's the ones that would be affected by this. And I would say right now it's probably 2/3 are against. They've already passed motions in their own townships. And even ours doesn't say we're against it. It says we're against what's presented before us. And that's similar to what everyone else has put out there. So this committee already has 2 meetings set up. I have one tomorrow afternoon and I have one in May with the Minister of Transportation or something. It just came out yesterday. So in the end, it's a federal thing. It's not even our decision. It's a federal decision. We can just put our opposition out there, and we have done that. And we've told our MP. The province is starting to get into it now, but they haven't really said too much on it yet either. So it's a work in progress. It's in the consulting stages, and right now I would say there's more against it than there is for it. It'll take its path here, and let's see where it ends up. But this is just something to add to the discussion and see where it goes. But this was just an information thing from the county. So thank you for that anyways. And I'm there as Havelock-Belmont-Methuen, and I know what my residents are saying, and I'll do my part as far as speaking for Havelock-Belmont-Methuen, just like others will speak for their townships.
No, and further to that, I said it doesn't change, at least for myself, and I won't speak for you, Mr. Mayor, but it doesn't change my position. I'm still completely against it. When I go to county, I'm completely against it. But what we need to understand is, as I said, there's members on that committee or members on the council in terms of Cavan, Monaghan, possibly OSM. Some of these townships could be getting the station, So, I mean, if for one of those townships, that's a big economic boost. And,
It's only Peterborough getting the station. Peterborough, Ottawa.
As presented.
Oh, no, that's the way
but
it's gonna be. I mean, you've got this
It
train
doesn't,
traveling.
it doesn't, Peterborough is a general area. The station itself probably can't be built in the city of Peterborough because Peterborough is surrounded by Cavan, Monaghan and OSM. So it has to be built outside the city. So one of those communities, if it's built, will get the station. And for myself, if I'm in that community, then I'm probably going to vote for it because that's a big economic boost for my community. So while we disagree with it, I think we still must understand the communities around us, their reasoning for being for it. We don't have to agree with it, but we should at least understand it.
Yeah. So that's the county report for information. And so I'll move on now to HBM Youth Committee, Deputy Mayor Webb. You have minutes here from August 27th, October 15th, December 17th, and February 19th.
Okay. Yeah. Could be. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask questions. So did the youth committee get the bottle returned? Because I noticed that was in their last. They didn't.
Come across here,
No.
Well, I just wondered because it was in their minutes towards the end that they would look at it if no one else took it.
But our minutes haven't reflected a request to come in for them to take it over.
No, but it's just I
don't believe at the meeting, whatever, a week or two ago, that was brought up. One thing that was brought up there, looking at obviously they've been running more events. I believe it's this Friday. They have a youth dance, Western theme, I think, up here. So Friday night, 7:00, there'll be another youth dance up at our reopened town hall. So anybody looking for something to do, come on out and volunteer.
Okay. All right then. And next on.
Sorry, if I may, Mr. Mayor, through you, other business there, committee liaison, an update from the Havelock Police, local police board is they changed the Cram the Cruiser from the 2nd till the 23rd, which I think is the same day as fish derby, is it not?
23rd.
Yes, so just to let you know that it changed and they wanted to thank us for the donation that we sent out. Anyway, thank you.
All right. The next on the agenda there is the HPMLA. I had a Zoom meeting with them on April 8th. Similar to other years, I expressed how I appreciate HPMLA and what they do for our township. It's always been better to have an umbrella group to deal with on some of these issues. And then there's a lot of things that the individual lake associations have more of an interest in, whether you're talking regattas and things like that. But this group, once again, and it's very similar to the 2023 meeting they had with me, it's septic inspection. Where's it at? I said we had no plans at this time to do any formal septic inspection. We've been trying to work on education, the education mode, and we have some stuff on our website. They would like to see more on our website with regards to the maintenance of your septic and things like that would help people, and how to detect a faulty septic. Just some items on the education side of things, what people can look for, because some have no idea what to look for. So that's a suggestion from them that they would like to see. And then with bylaws, with the complaint process, one of the things they referred to was a good neighbor item that they have up at North Kawartha and how helpful it is. And they all use it for when somebody's asking about how do you report, an animal incident or individual things. It's like almost, I forget how many pages I was showing Bob. It's about 11 pages or something like that, but it's a good document and you don't have to recreate the wheel. It's something that everyone should take a look at because it would help our residents and it would help us when somebody calls you and asks, how do I deal with this bylaw? It explains everything, kind of simple, and it was a good thing to look at, and it wouldn't hurt if we had one similar. Some other townships have something like that in Trent Lakes, and it works well. So anyways, at the end of the day, I was only on there for about a half an hour with them or 45 minutes. And it went really well. And like I say, they've been excellent to work with over the years. I did say that it's unfortunate they always come out at election time. If they would stick around for the whole year and bring their concerns to us throughout the whole year, it wouldn't all lump up at the end of the year. So it was a good group. Lots of good people on there that are doing it. And I'm sure we'll hear more from them over the next little while. So, so that's all I had for the HPMLA. Go ahead, Deb.
Yes, to you, Mayor Martin. It's my understanding that we were going to help the lake associations with the septic problems that some do have. And I thought that we were going to start doing inspections this year. Last year was.
No.
I brought a motion forward that got turned down. Then we go through Travis and do a student program, and I got turned down.
So what was discussed at that when you brought it up is that we would work on the education thing to help, promote healthy septics that way. And but it's up to council in the end. So, to work on a process. The first year that I met with them was in 2023. And I think that's when Travis was just getting it back, or he was getting it into the township that the health unit wasn't going to be doing it anymore. So there was a process to get all the records and things up to date. So we didn't do it that year. And there was concerns on how to do it and what the best approach is. In the end, we were supposed to be working on an education process, and that's kind of what's online now on our website. But they would like to see a little more information.
I understand what you said, but it doesn't make sense in what I kind of got from the meetings last year.
Yeah.
I think we have to do more on our part. We already know that there are some septic issues, and our wildlife and lakes and lands are very important. So I think moving forward, we should be inspecting them.
Okay.
We should start that process. I really thought we were supposed to start with a lake, one lake, and go with another lake and go on and on.
Yeah, we talked about it, but
Well, I get the talking part, but honestly, I'm so sick of talking.
But I gotta vote it. I brought them.
like it came forward and it didn't go, so.
Because we were going to do the education first. Well, we've done the education, now we should be doing it. If you bring your motion up, I will vote for that because I really think,
Inspections, how much is it gonna cost?
I don't know.
How are you gonna get the notice out to people? That you're coming to their house, where you, like, there's so many questions around.
Yes, I know, but the Kawartha Lakes, they have already done it and they've done the program. You know that, Jim.
Yeah.
I
So-
mean,
So this is something that, like, if you feel strongly about it, when we get to, like, if we notice a motion, you can work on that, or you can at least look into it and come back with something if you feel strongly about it. That's up to you as a counselor. Oh, Doherty.
Only if.
no, yeah. Yeah.
I don't quite recall this septic thing going the way it did, other than the fact that it did not get approved. But I think the feedback that we said is, when you brought your motion was, okay, exactly what the deputy mayor says, who's going to do it, what's the cost, where you're going to put it into your sewer system, because we're already at flow now. We didn't have, okay, and what do you do if you go in and somebody's septic tank's not working? What are we going to do? That's where we left it last time, and we were going to do an education program, and we have been, because it's been going out on social media. So maybe I misunderstood.
Alice? Did we not ask for what we asked for was a student program? Was that not what we asked for?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, we brought a report forward that outlined how the program would work, that sort of stuff. At that time, it was chose to go through the education process and not move forward with the program. If council wishes for that to be brought back with more information, we're happy to do so.
But in the report, was it not 2 students?
It would have been 2 students.
Right.
And
So-
they were going to get paid.
Mhm.
Oh, so that would be part of the cost for it. And then
So
are we going to charge them for it?
So moving forward, I
don't-
would suggest that, like, if you feel strongly about this, we can do it. Just bring something in new business next time, or a notice of motion next time, and see where it goes. But do some homework, find out exactly, like, get all the wording right, rather than just do it on the fly here. And, and see if that's what you're looking for. Work with staff and, bring something back that we can be prepared for. So.
Sorry, as part of
Yeah.
that discussion, I'll have to ask Travis, but I thought we made some kind of direction in terms of ways we could do this without actually just going out and doing septic tank inspections. So whether it was when we're doing building permits and stuff like that, or is there not ways we can kind of check these things when we're on site for different building?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, if somebody applies for a building permit and they're increasing floor area, number of fixture units or bedrooms, we have to review the sewage system as part of that building permit application, and that would be approved prior to issuing the building permit. So anybody that applies for permits, we're looking at those ones, yes.
And that automatically gets updated though, in terms of like, so that we would know. So if you went out there that day, we would have a thing that said that day you were there, everything was okay, on the septic system, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so through cloud permit, the existing sewage system review comes in through that way.
Yeah.
We review it in-house for all the numbers, and sometimes we would attend the site as well if need be, and then that would be documented in that permit.
Thanks, Travis.
So the permitting covers any new renovations or things that are applicable. So some of them. So anyways, it's but yeah, it's up to council. If you feel strongly still and you want to bring something forward, work with staff, come up with a plan, see what, all sides of it, costs, all those things, and see if you feel comfortable with it still. Bring a motion. That's right. Okay.
One last comment, I promise this is it. So the RCLA, they did an amazing, it was a Zoom, you had to do a Zoom webinar, and it talked about septic re-inspection, shoreline naturalization, and that was well, they did that in 24, and I think they also did again in 25. And then I attended one out in Round Lake on one. Anyways, I mean, there is more information out there, but that's the lakes doing it, not us. So,
yeah. So,
anyways, I'm done, sorry.
Okay. All right, so that's how it works. And if you feel strongly, bring something back. The next item on here is the cemetery board minutes from February 6th. Things are going really well there with the new caretakers that have taken over, and they're working really hard to make a lot of changes and update a lot of things at mainly Maple Grove, but they are now looking after Pine Grove too. So lots of good things happening with the cemetery board and things under control. But, any questions for that? Hearing none, motion to receive the activity report. Moved by Councillor Clement, second by Deputy Mayor Webb. All in favor? That's carried. All right, so we don't have any written notice of motion before us. Is there any oral notice of motion? Hearing none. I'll other business. So we have one thing listed under other business, and that's with regards to a minute. And that's Jerry with the delegation follow-up for, sorry, I got lost here on the thing. So new business here, it's delegate follow-up for services delegate. Official services.
It was on last meeting. The Peterborough Housing.
Yeah, their response to our delegation.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
We requested, yeah.
They sent their numbers back, which their math is not extremely good. And I think the other thing are the buildings here seniors? And they come back with a definite maybe categories. I don't think it really, I mean, what they're saying is if you apply, if I apply to Peterborough Housing, I get to say where I go. That's the way I took the feedback. Okay. Did anybody else interpret that way? Or did I just interpret it wrong, which is very possible? I have one bad eye.
I interpret it that way, but isn't it like that with everything in our society today? So well, I think you pretty much get to do whatever you want there.
Well, I think the thing was everybody at HBM, or at least the feedback was at the last meeting, that they thought they were senior buildings and they were remaining that way, and that ship has sailed. And really, if you're on the list, you have an opportunity to pick your location. I understand that correctly. So it's for the people that are inquiring about it. I understand that we don't have a lot of influence over Peterborough Housing, but that was what I was looking for. Anyway, thanks for putting it on the agenda anyway, because I think the report's in there, which just speaks to it. Thank you.
Okay, and one thing that Bob suggests I put it in here as far as instead of notice of motion, but something that I've been looking at over the last couple of weeks, and I would like to see if council would be prepared to make a motion that we ask staff to bring back an update, kind of similar to what we did for the budget. So it would be an update on how we've been following the strategic plan and items for the next meeting. No, sorry, it was all our grants and things that we've been receiving. Like this council's done pretty well over the last little while. We've got a lot of things coming in and a lot of things on the go. And sometimes you have to keep it out there. So I just would like to see us ask staff to bring back something similar to what Lionel did at the budget, as far as we do it on our individual things, like it went with the strategic plan thing that, we're following it. But when you see them all together, it's pretty impressive on some of the things that we've done. And, and with the grants that are coming in, some people are questioning why we don't have growth here. But we've been working towards that for this whole term. And some of the things that we've done, even as far as the sewage lagoon, with the work that's going to be happening over there, we had capacity for 28 homes. We're now we have a capacity of 200 when that's finished. So things like that, it's unfortunate, but you kind of got to keep it out there. And sometimes you got to, it just goes better. So people that missed it the last time, and it's that the council has been working hard towards a lot of things here, and we have a lot of good things happening, whether it's George Street, sewage lagoon, sports fields, the arena. You know, I said this at the last time that the work that we're finishing up at the arena this summer is going to be top notch. Like, you know, it's still an old arena, but it's updated that it'll get us many more years. And there's another phase to that we're hoping to bring into it. So I just would like to see if council would make them for it. I can change seats and do it that way, but I just wondered if we could make a motion that to ask staff to bring us back an update on how we're been following the strategic plan and the items in there. Jerry?
Not the strategic plan, it's on every application we get, it says how we're following it. The follow-up on the project, I thought we were doing that with our newsletters, trying to keep everybody up to date.
I just wanted one item, like do one thing, like one presentation here at the next meeting.
Ties into Lionel's report, all that information is kind of on there. I don't know, whatever you want.
Yeah, it's just a suggestion, and Bob had said he has been working on something. I guess I'm just trying to speed it up a little bit so we can get it for next meeting. So, Kathy?
I mean, let's face it, it's election year, and I think people like to know what we've done. One pager that we can put on the website, that's also there, that somebody comes to me and says, oh, what did your council accomplish? And it's a one pager, highlights only.
Well, and like to Jerry's point, the strategic plan thing is on all the applications. It does state individually, but if you see that all together on like this document that Lionel did, it just lumps it all together. It's a little bigger than that would be better, that I could read it a little easier, but it's just a good thing. And it's just, I guess it's like patting yourself on the back, but it's just something we are dealing with it. For the people that don't think we're dealing with anything, we've dealt with a lot this year or the last few years, and we're working towards making things better. So
the next council.
So further to that, I agree with everything that was just said in terms of, like the stuff we've done, we need to promote it a little more than we have been. The work we're doing over on the rink, I know we've had a few updates in terms of that, but I've had a few people approach me in terms of, what kind of caught me off guard is I've had 2 or 3 people ask me, well, why don't, what would be really great over at the rink is if you guys built a gym on the rink. And then I tell them, well, we've pretty much, I know we haven't gone ahead with the money side of it, but we pretty much decided this as a council, 2 years ago, that's the way we're going. Yet there's people in our community coming up asking me, or suggesting to me, why don't we build a weight room on the side? So in terms of communication, they said, maybe this is something, as I said, we get ahead and when we show some pictures and whatnot over there, we talk about some of the things that we discussed, even though I know, as I said, I know we haven't put the money aside for it yet, but we can put it out there that council's, ideas for phase 2 or whatever is a gym, because then that kind of resonates right now. Obviously that gives people reason to hold our feet to the fire with what we tell them we're going to do, right? So you might want to be hesitant on exactly what you put out there, but as I said, I was kind of caught off guard by a couple of people coming up to me and, suggesting to me that we build a weight room over there, when I think everyone on this council knows that we kind of decided that probably 2 or 3 years ago when we first got here. So if we can relay some of those messages to the community, it would be.
So let's go ahead, Bob.
Yes, thank you. Through you, Mayor Martin. Staff is happy to bring back a Sunlight report. We have no issues with that. Our managers and our management team, we've been discussing this now for a few weeks, but I'll certainly say that in this term, we have focused on improving communication with the community. We have, as you see, we discussed earlier today, the capital project summary list. That's new. And we bring that forward specifically for this reason, that everyone can keep track of projects that we are working on. With respect to things like the possibly bringing a gym to the community center, as you know, that did come to council in open session. We've had concept drawings out there, but it is nice to summarize it, and we will bring those back in a summary report. Strategic plan is summarized in every staff report that we do. There's always a reference there, so we know we're keeping track of that. We had a discussion regarding strategic plan during our budget process. We did review some of the projects that we've completed. We're happy to bring that back and we will do so. Thank you.
So it sounds like you're already working on it. So do you need a motion to bring it back or just let?
We
you
don't
keep
need a
working?
motion. We'll,
Thank you.
we're on it.
Thank you. Good. So look forward to seeing it.
So that, don't bring that motion.
So, okay. All right then. So motion to receive the other business report. Moved by Councillor Clement, second by Deputy Mayor Webb. All in favor? That's carried. So we have some bylaws here, and the first bylaw was deferred. Second bylaw is 2026-27. Bylaw to amend the township's Belmont-Methuen comprehensive zoning bylaw amendment for to permit housekeeping update. Better than that. So mover for that. Kathy and Jerry, all in favor, period. And then the other is the bylaw to authorize mayor and clerk to execute environmental impact mitigation methods agreement. So that's bylaw number 2026-28. So motion for that. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Flagler, all in favor. All right then, we do have a closed session for us, and that's going to be held under sections 239(2)(b) and 239(2)(e) for litigation, potential litigation, as well as opposing pending acquisition of this land. So motion to go into closed session. Moved by Kathy, second by Gary, all in favor. All right, so we're back in open.
I would say just that we follow the direction of the municipal solicitor.
Motion that we
Regarding
follow
legal matter.
direction of the municipal solicitor. Moved by Jerry, second by Bev.
Yeah.
All in favor, that's carried. Okay, and now the confirming bylaw for today's meeting. Councillor Clements, Councillor Doherty, all in favor, and that's carried.
I'm gonna switch arms if I do on
Yeah.
first stage.
Yeah.
It's gonna do the left hand.
Right.
And motion to adjourn. Deputy Mayor Webb and Councillor Doherty, all in favor?